My name is Christina Kadracia. I'm representing Deloitte Consulting today.
My name is Allison Blake, and I'm representing the Emory Clinic.
My name is Michaela Calhoun, and I'm a senior recruiter at ICF International.
My name is Lee Helmkin. I'm representing the Emory Center for Injury Control.
I'm Ashley Beaver. I'm the Workforce and Fellowship Coordinator at CSTE, which is the Council of State and Territorial Epidemiologists.
Students today have done an amazing job in terms of being prepared.
The most important step is being prepared with a very solid and strong introduction about yourself and some of your past experience.
They are coming and introducing themselves very effectively. They're making great eye contact.
And then leading into finding out what opportunities the employers actually have.
They're talking about not only their course of study, but where their interests lie in a very confident way. And even
A lot of times students don't actually know anything about us or our field, but we just kind of expect them to be interested or engaged or ask questions and not just kind of expect us to give them the whole spiel.
Students come to the table, they know a little bit about Deloitte, have done some research ahead of time because I think it shows that they're interested.
Do your research and come to the table with some really solid questions about what the organization has to offer.
And even when I'm encountering people who aren't sure what they want to do next, they're being very open and honest about that, but looking for opportunities to figure that path out.
No, not really. Not for us.
Okay, that's really helpful also is for them to have business cards because that way we're able to get in touch with them and almost make notes on the back. I really like doing that about who we've talked to, what we've talked about because being here for a couple hours, by the time that comes around, it's hard for me to remember who was who when I was talking to them. So that's helpful. What kinds of things they're interested in, what their backgrounds are, what kind of experiences they have, what kind of classes that they're, really learning about and liking at school, because that gives me a good idea before I talk through, kind of what I'm, almost my elevator speech for Deloitte, where to focus, what they're interested in, and really what they, what would be helpful for them, for me to tell them based on what their interests and experiences are. Smiles. I like when people are friendly,
I would say their attitude, whether they're friendly or engaging.
They're not intimidated, that they show that they're comfortable and friendly, and that helps to establish kind of an easy rapport to start off with.
Not being too abrasive, not being too arrogant when you step up and approach the table.
Have a good handshake, asking questions.
Their knowledge of our program and organization.
Great. It's a little bit of professionalism and then communication style as well.
Handshake is critical. Having a confident handshake is important. Breaking my hand makes me think, okay, really don't break my hand.
They shake my hand, I guess that's great too, but I think the first thing I look forward to is just, smiling and being easygoing.
And just really being yourself at the same time.
But having a confident handshake and taking the time to say, hi, this is who I am, is fantastic.
Great. I think every organization out there has pertinent information and background about the organization that they're representing.
I want them to sort of ask what we do, who we are, more than just immediately asking if we have a job.
So being able to do your research and come to the table with some really solid questions about what the organization has to offer.
I don't necessarily think that you're interested in our field if you're immediately just asking what we can do for you.
Considering I was just one a few months ago, things I look for are people who are articulate, can really express, what they're interested in, what their experiences are.
Definitely professionalism is a huge component right off the bat. First impressions speak volumes.
We're a consulting firm, so we're looking for people who are interested in being in that sort of environment.
I don't necessarily think they need to know everything about Deloitte when they're coming in. I don't think they need to know exactly what the perfect job for them is going to be, but for them to say, okay, this is what I'm bringing to the table, and this is what's important for me. That's really helpful for me to get to know a bit about who they are as a person and as a potential applicant for us.
If they want to work directly with people within a population, we're not necessarily the best match, because who we serve is the organizations who are putting programs in place to help serve vulnerable populations. So an interest level in what we do.
That, and then also being able to explain to the employers who you are, what you're interested in, and what you have to offer.
When someone's able to do that, it's easier for us to be able to connect, I think.
The ability to communicate effectively is really critical.
So being well-spoken is also very important.
What we bring to the marketplace is the knowledge of our people. So being able to convey that is really important.
Interested, absolutely send me an email to follow up with me, because I met a lot of people today, so I'm probably not going to remember you unless you contact me.
I do think email is the best strategy. Personally, I never mind giving out my email address, so that really is the best way to keep in touch. The phone calls can be a little bit cumbersome, so I think that the relationship builds and it's a positive experience for both parties, then telephone is absolutely a good way to follow up as well.
Well, I gave my business card out to quite a few people, so I think one of the interesting things will be who actually responds. I think it's good to respond day of or pretty soon day after, so within kind of a 24-hour time frame for them to respond, to thank me for meeting them, to mention a few things from our conversation that will help me kind of jog my memory about the things that we talked about. I like to have that kind of ongoing dialogue, because I think for both of us, for them and for me, it's really good for us to not have this be the only connection that we have.
A lot of students are asking me for a business card. I don't typically give them out in a form like this. Here's why. I love people. I love staying in contact with people. But if I give you a business card, I made a commitment to you that I'm going to keep in active touch with you on a regular basis. I can't promise that for people who are, a year and a half out from graduation, and I don't want them to have that expectation. So what I offer is the opportunity to stay connected on LinkedIn, so it puts the ball in their court so that I can keep my commitment level.
Especially for the summer associate position, which is what a lot of people were interested in, that's not until January, so if I talk to them today but don't see their name again until the application, basically that kind of eliminates the conversation we had today. I'd like for them to continue to show interest and to stay involved, and that way I think I'm more willing to pass them along to other colleagues. If they have questions that maybe I can't answer, then I can forward those along. But if I give my card out and I don't hear anything back, I don't really have a way to get back in touch with them, so that's important.
Doing things like going to their career services people and finding out when ICF is going to be on site, and keeping those connections going, having reasonable expectations about the level to which people like I can stay in touch with them, and understanding that smaller organizations may be able to do that more effectively on a personal basis.